Hello, my at-home tech class typing PC skill crazy friends. Let's get right down to it. For those of you who do not know me, I am Mr. Ray. I own Kids Learning Tech. We do tech class and PC skills, all our crazy stuff. Let's get to work. Let's boogie. So, starting out, we know that these are a whole bunch of very productive apps from Microsoft. You don't have to use these, but these are some real common ones. So we've worked with them before, but I want to make sure that we review what we're talking about and what we're focusing on. So we're going to work on our typing first today. And for that, then we will use this guy, the big W, Microsoft Word. If you don't have Word, totally fine. Use Google Docs. They have their free version. So get any type of typing program, one where you can start mashing the keys and putting the letters up on the screen. Let's do a warm-up. We want to make sure that we are starting off as best we can. So we got to get our finger muscles warm, our brain muscles warm, all that whole deal. So what I'd like you to do, starting out, just like we have the past couple of weeks, type the alphabet, all 29 of those letters. And that was a test. Haha. Hopefully someone yelled, no, it's 26, because it is 26 letters. You always got to stay on your toes, even when I'm not there. So go ahead and type the alphabet. I'm going to count down from 5 so you can pause the video as needed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Moving on. Very exciting. After you have typed the alphabet, we will type our super crazy awesome alphabet sentence. Please type, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog, period. Now, for those of you that aren't aware of this, or maybe forgot from last week, this is a silly sounding sentence, but for a reason. If you type the sentence, you will have typed all 26 letters of the alphabet at least once. So this is a great, great warm-up. Again, I'm going to go ahead and pause, give you the chance to pause the video. So I'm going to count down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And here we go, moving on. We've discussed them, but we haven't really focused on them the past couple of weeks. So I want to make sure that we review the home keys. Make sure your fingers go home. There is the home row, and that is on the middle of your keyboard. And we see right here, your pointer finger in the left hand goes on the F, middle finger on the D, ring finger on the S, pinky on the A. On your right hand, it is J, K, L, and then the colon and semicolon. We want to make sure that our fingers go there. Eventually, we don't want to have to type by looking at the screen. You want to be able to, the term is touch type, and you can touch type if your fingers start on the home key. So here's a better illustration of where every finger should go. So showing again, the pinky is on the A, then the next finger on the S, the D, the F, and then on your right hand, J, K, L, and then the colon and semicolon. So for our practice, we're going to rock out some of the home keys. And remember, left hand, right hand. So our left hand is over here, and it's going to start typing ASDF, and our right hand over here is going to type JKL semicolon. I've got a little video for it here, so watch how I do it. And I won't say that I do it necessarily well, but I do end up doing it. So let's see how that progress goes. Starting on the screen, and we'll see, and I want you to do the same. ASDF space JKL, and each finger presses a different letter. I don't want you to lift up your hand and look down. I want you to be, you're really just rolling the fingers. ASDF, ASDF. Your pinky should hit the A, the F, and the F should be with your pointer finger. Once you've done that, go to the next line, and let's get a little more complicated with it. Each hand, each finger touches the same key again. We're just changing the order. We see D, S, F, A, and then space, and then semicolon, JLK. And you'll see where, well, there's once or twice, frankly, I don't do it right either. Because we can all use practice. That's what it means. We all can get a little bit better every single time. So making sure we're working on this, DSFA, and then semicolon, JLK, semicolon, JLK, semicolon, JLK, space, space, space. Now, go ahead and pause the video as needed and practice this. You don't just have to do 2 lines. I'd like you to do maybe 4 or maybe 6. Take your time. There is no running clock on this, and take your time and let's make sure we get it right. Home keys are huge. The better you are able to input data into a computer, the more successful and, much more importantly, empowered you will be. So, continuing our warm-up. I'm going to count down again from 5 in case you want to pause the video. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and forever hold your peace. Once we've practiced our home keys, I'd like you to try it with this way. You're going to type this sentence. I asked Joe. You'll want to set aside 10% of those number 2 pencils. The sentence doesn't have to make sense, but this is great. I want you to try the home keys if you can. Importantly, this is one that's going to work on you using the shift key. You'll need to use the shift key for these symbols and to capitalize different things around and for that bit of punctuation as well. Cool practice. I'm going to count down from 5 and you can pause the video as needed. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Moving on. So here we have a computer. We know that a computer is not only technology, but special technology because it works with, fill in the blank for me, friends. That's right, data. It works with data. Reviewing again, what is data? Data is just information. So we have stick person 1 says, my name is Jim. And stick person 2 says, my name is Susan. Jim and Susan have now exchanged data. What data have they exchanged? And that would be their names. That's right, their names. Our quintessential example that we've used for all my veterans, you've seen this for a while, of giving a machine data, and that is a microwave oven. What information must you provide to a machine? And that is, in this case, this machine being the microwave, that is the amount of time you want your food to cook. That is the data. You throw it in. The microwave doesn't know how long you want to cook your stuff. You must provide the data. Data. So the words we type into Microsoft Word, those are data, but really when we think about data, we more think about numbers. And the program that specializes in numbers is, that's right, Excel. Excel. So go ahead, open up Microsoft Excel if you have not already. Pause the video if you have to. And let's go ahead and move on. Now, the past few weeks, we've talked about the components of Excel. We've talked about each of these little rectangular boxes is a cell. When the cells are collected up and down, those are rows. The cells, when they go side to side, when the cells go up and down, those are the columns. Making sure you guys are paying attention. When the cells go side to side, those are the rows. So one box by itself is a cell. Cells up and down, those are the columns. Cells side to side, those are the rows. We talked about this a little bit in some of the face-to-face sessions, so if any of you missed it, every one of these cells has its own address. So look at this here. So we're seeing over there is an address. Just like your house has an address, look how this changes right over here. Oops, there we go. So right there, when I click on a different cell, notice how that changes. E7, A7, A1. I'm going to click over B1, one more over, C1, D1, E1, F1. And we're going to do about here, A8, and then B8, C8, D8, E8, and F8. Every one of those cells has its own address. This is hugely important. Think of it this way. You, in your home, you have an address. That's how mail gets delivered to your house. The address for your home is completely unique. It is different than the address for the people that live next door to you or anywhere else. Everyone must have their own address. In Excel, it's the same way. Every one of those cells has its own address containing its own data. That's really, really important moving on to our next new facet for the spreadsheet program. Go ahead and play with this a little bit if you want, noting up here is where the address of each cell is. So F7 is column F and then row 7. Go ahead and click on that. Try with those a little bit if you have the moment to, because that's really important for understanding our next bit of fun here. We're going to talk about formulas. Formulas are a way, not just for baby food, formulas are a way for us to manipulate and work with numbers. A processing numbers. So let's get ourselves a basic chart. Let's lay out some information. Let's say cakes. We love cakes. Let's pretend I'm a baker. We want to know how many cakes we sold on different days. Remember, Excel and a spreadsheet program is all about us organizing and manipulating data. So in these 3 cells here, I'm going to type just whatever we had gotten, whatever we had produced during that day. Now, if we want to add them up, we know from before I can highlight them, and we have the auto sum at the bottom. But then I would have to remember what that was and put it in here. There is a better way, because look, I make a change. Well, the total doesn't change. I would have to re-highlight it, get the auto sum, and instead there's a way to do this in the individual cells. Watch what we're going to do. Up at the top, instead of the home ribbon, I'm going to scroll over to formulas, and then I'm going to hit on auto sum. See, it says automatically added up. Your total will appear after you've selected the cells. Look at this. All of a sudden, you see it now, a blue box. That's a new one. And you can change it. You can move that up and down. But once I get up there, I'm going to hit enter. And then, bam. See, it says 148. Now look what happens when I change one of the totals. I'm going to change the total to 98. I hit enter. Oh, my total has now changed. It did it automatically. I didn't have to highlight and then look at the bottom of the screen. Whenever I make a change, it goes ahead and does that for me. Super key, super handy. Don't worry, you don't have to pause the screen yet, because I'm going to bring us through slide by slide. We're going to work on this one together, because this is great for us to try to wrap our head around. Okay. Now, what I would like you to do is copy the information on the screen as I have it. It's going to make your life a little bit easier as long as we're working from the same bit of information. So what I want you to do is in B2, I want you to type cakes. And then in column A, A3, I want to be day 1. A4 is going to be day 2. A5 is going to be day 3. And then on A7, let's type that in as total. Total. We can play with different numbers. If you want to do my numbers for now, that's fine. 59, 5, and 98. Kind of important. Now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pause the video here after just a second. Once you type all of that, this is huge and key. I need you to click on this little box here. The box that we want to be the total must be selected before our next step. I'm going to count down from 5 and go ahead and hit pause on the video to make sure you can have this the way that we have it here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good, very good. Okay, hopefully you have this. Make sure that box B7 has the green line around it, because that means it has been selected. That is super, super important, or else this next step is not going to work. Once you've done that, we're going to go to the top of the screen, and I need you then to click on formulas to give you the formula ribbon. So when you started, it said home. Now we're going to say formulas. After you have clicked formulas, then you're going to click on this guy right here, auto sum. Auto sum. Click on those. I'm going to count down from 5 so you can pause the video to find out where we are. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, without doing anything else, your screen should look just like this. You should see a sort of blue outline over all of these, and if you click on these, you can actually change where that is. Don't worry about that right now. So let's look at our total box. It says equal sum B3 colon B6. So this tells us it is adding up all the numbers between B3 and B6. That would be B3, B4, B5. That's going to add them all up there. Let's make sure your screen looks like mine. If not, pause the video. I'm going to count down from 5 for you to pause the video, so I want your screen to look like mine. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Hopefully your screen looks like mine. Here's the key. Right now, the next thing you do, all you have to do is hit enter. When you click on enter, bam! your screen looks like mine if you did it correctly. Your screen looks like mine. So you have now set it up to do the sums. I'd like for you to play with this. Change the numbers. Type in a different number here, here, or here, and then you must hit enter and see how this changes. Super crazy cool getting Excel to work for us, not just with us. It's working for us. We're in charge. That's the whole thing. So go ahead and do that, and let's start playing with that formula function, most importantly for cell B7. I'm going to count down from 5 before moving on to our next step, give you all the time you need. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Super cool. We reviewed this last week. I want to put this into practice. So go ahead and let's give our chart some borders. So click right there. And then we know the drill. I want you to click right there for all borders. That's going to help how we process and see our information. If you've done that correctly, your screen should look like this. I'm going to count down from 5, give you time to get that straight. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause the video if you have to. Hopefully now we're back. All right, now let's apply some of the skills we were doing last week, and let's play with the fonts and the fills. So we are visual creatures, and look at how we're experimenting here. So I'm typing in different numbers just to show that this does in fact work, typing in different things. But we are visual creatures. The better and more attractive something is, the more it's going to catch our eye, the more it's going to process for us. So right now I changed to the red font and now the green backing. I want my days to have their own font. I like one of those really sort of funky ones. Let's make it in italics first, and then the Algerian. I think Algerian's way to go. Nice. Now I want to do some fill in for my numbers, but I want to make them larger first. So I change the size of my font. Now I need my total to be the biggest number. So I'm going to make it bold. I'll make it big, grande, muy fuerte. So I also want to highlight. I'm going to fill them, backfill, make them yellow. And so now it stands out. This is visually appealing. I can see day 1, 59, day 2, 6, day 3, 65. This is a step in the right direction, but it's not the end of our journey. I'm going to go ahead and count down from 5. Take our time here. I want your screen to look like mine. You don't have to use my fonts or my fills, but change what you have. Master this. Control it. Granular control is what you're looking for. Now I'm going to count down from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And moving on. So this looks good, but I think we know from last week it could look better. So let's go ahead and make our chart into a graph. Here's the thing. When we highlight, do not highlight the total. The graph doesn't know that that's a total. We only want to highlight the preliminary data, the 3 numbers. So I'm going to go to Insert, and then click on Columns, and we see what a great illustration. Day 1, awesome. Day 2, lousy. Day 3, the best. So visually, we're able to see that before even having to look at numbers. So bar is one way, and remember our pie chart. I like this one. Now we're going to change it up. I like to have some numbers in here as well. I'm not going to go through the steps on this one because I want to see if you can experiment for it. Remember that once you highlight our data, go to the ribbon, and for our graphs and charts, you want to go to Insert. Go ahead and give that a try, and Mr. G and I look forward to seeing all of you guys during the Zoom face-to-face sessions this week. We'll talk to you soon.